What's up, guys? I'm your host, Coleman Hawkins, back with another episode of Every Pod A Wildcat. I'm here with my man,
Brennan Hausen.
Brennan Hausen. Brennan, we just got back from a road trip. There's a lot of snow hit the ground. Talk to me a little bit about our trip. We went to Fort Worth
Yep.
at TCU. And then played on the road again at Oklahoma State. We were supposed to fly home from Fort Worth, but instead we stayed a couple extra days and then stayed in Stillwater. And then luckily we were able to fly back after the game at Oklahoma State. Talk about that time, what you did, and where was your head at as far as having to stay a couple extra days and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a little difficult when you're not prepared to be on the road for that long. With two-game stretch is always difficult. So not being prepared, that kind of sucked a little bit. But Starbucks kind of saved me. I spent a lot of time at Starbucks. It was nice to be in Texas. The weather was a little warmer for a little bit. I had family down there, so it was nice to be able to spend time with family, and then to have some downtime to hang out, with you guys, and kind of do some things around the hotel and whatnot. It took a little pressure off. Obviously, we dropped a close one to TCU. That one stung a little bit, and then going to Stillwater. Not much out there in Stillwater, but it was still a good trip. Obviously, that one hurt too, but got to do some fun things with you guys, and you can never go wrong with getting to hang out with your teammates. So
yeah, let's go back to speaking of the TCU game. Let's go back to that. Talk to me a little bit about like what went well for us, what might not have went well. I know me personally, I feel like we were able to get shots. I feel like shots weren't falling. There's a little clip of us online not being able to hit a shot, a couple of air balls in those clips. But, talk to me a little bit about what went well, what might not have, and maybe that last play that, might have costed us the game.
yeah, I mean, obviously going out there, coming off the Cincinnati win, we were confident. The ball was moving around. We were getting good shots. We just couldn't get anything to fall. I mean, I think we were 3 of 20 at halftime, which I don't know when we've been 3 of 20 again, so that obviously hurt us. And you go back and you look at all the little plays within the game, and if we could have just made one more play at one point. And credit to them, they made some difficult plays, some tough plays that helped them win. And then going down to that last play, I mean, we got a chance to knock down the front ends of 1-and-1s, and then you can just feel it. They're going down. They've got a chance to win. That's the loudest the arena had been, and their best player had the ball and made a good play. I mean, it was definitely tough. We definitely one we should have won, but credit to them.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely feel like we probably should have won that game. Not to discredit TCU. They came out with a good game plan. They were double teaming me low, forcing me baseline, had that big rotate. Obviously, that resulted in some spray out threes, and we did miss a lot of shots early. But there are definitely plays where I feel like our team took plays off. I feel like they played very hard, and at the end of the day, we talked a lot about execution, executing our plays, running them the right way, running them with pace, and then playing with more effort and intensity on the defensive end. We out-rebounded them, which is one of our keys to getting a victory. I don't know if I think we had 11 turnovers.
11 turnovers,
So that's
yeah.
another key, 11 or less turnovers. But, ultimately they just made more plays than we did and did more than what it took to win. And, they obviously got the win. That final play, we broke it down in film. We'd probably be switching everything in that scenario. But the 1-on-1 got missed, so it was kind of quick, kind of a bang play, just right into it. And then also some of those calls down the stretch,
Be difficult sometimes.
on the road, you could definitely tell we were the road team. Some of those calls from the officials, I felt like didn't go our way. Some of my turnovers, I felt like I should have got the ball back because I felt like it wasn't my fault, but the official made a call. So that that ultimately, at the end of the day, we just have to be the
Right.
tougher road team, and play to win on the road, because it's not easy going on the road. But talk to me a little bit about we try to clean things up, and then we practiced at TCU the day after. Have you ever played a game and then practiced at the same arena you just lost in?
That was a first for me. I've been on some week-long road trips. I've never had to turn around and practice at the team we just lost at arena. So that was very interesting.
And use their facilities or weight room.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it definitely threw us off of our normal routine. No one was expecting to be there that long. No one expected to have to go back there and practice. So it was definitely difficult. But it is what it is in the Big 12. You got to prepare, and no matter where it is, what it is, we got to be ready to go. It's going to be a fight every night.
Yeah. So going to Stillwater, we got there, and then we practiced. Got in kind of not too late, but kind of late over there. We flew there, had a practice, our normal routine, regular practice, and then we actually they gave us a Walmart trip.
A Walmart trip, yeah, we did. We made a Walmart trip.
We took the bus to go to Walmart, got some snacks, got some underwear, got some shirts. So we did that, and then. Talk about the Oklahoma State game. I remember just kind of getting off to a slow start. I feel like, foul trouble for me. Personally, I feel like I can play with 2 fouls. On the last play of the half, maybe could have got subbed out, so I didn't pick up my third. But I feel like I can play the rest of the half with 2 fouls. But, obviously Coach is doing what he does, trying to coach and trying to save me for the next half. But I feel like we just dug ourselves in a hole that was just too deep to get out of. And, Oklahoma State played really hard. They were really handsy. They were in the passing lanes, getting deflections, causing turnovers, and then offensively kind of getting whatever they wanted. Talk a little bit about that.
They had a great game plan. They were able to kind of get out in transition early a few times. We had a few turnovers that were just uncharacteristic. They were able to capitalize on that, and anytime that you dig yourself in a 10-point hole, it's not a good spot in the first half. And then that run they made right there before the first half, and they cap it off with the buzzer beater. Obviously, never easy to go in down 24 at half. But we came back out. We tried with the 1-3-1, and we had a plan, and we cut it to 11. And credit to our guys for not quitting. Made it a game, and ultimately they ran away with it. But it was credit to Oklahoma State and those guys for how hard they play and how they do things. Like I said, the Big 12 is just a gauntlet.
Yeah, and part of the reason why I started the podcast, or agreed to doing the podcast, and one of the first things I said was, I don't want to use this as a space to vent or bash teammates or try to make excuses for myself. So no, this is a great space to maybe for our fans and other people to understand the process throughout the season. So this is great feedback. But like I said, this isn't a space where we want to try to make excuses for ourselves. This is a space where we want to be open. But yeah, no, definitely going back to the Oklahoma State game, we definitely dug ourselves in a hole. We try to come out and give them a different look in that zone, and they had a big man who was having a great night. They were feeding him, and they played extremely hard, hit shots when they needed to. Yeah. Right when we were right there cutting the lead, they hit one that was just devastating for us, and I think that we can make some changes that can help us along the way, and we're learning right now, and we still have a lot more conference games ahead of us, and we get to see Oklahoma State again, which is good. So yeah, we're just learning from these situations. But at the end of the day, you have to be the tougher team, especially when you're playing on the road. Both of the environments weren't chaotic, but still, you're still a road team.
Pro team,
and
great guys. You're playing against great coaches.
Yeah, and they're comfortable. They're in their gym. They're in their arena. But at the end of the day, you just got to be tougher and got to go in with the mindset that you're going to go punk people. And I felt like we had the right start at TCU. Just didn't come out with the win. Didn't come out with the punch the final blow that we needed to. And then Oklahoma State kind of just got punched in the mouth early and took a little too long to react.
Right.
So yeah.
And the good news is, we'll have the next two at home. Get to kind of talk about what to expect from Houston, and then we'll have Texas Tech. Two really great programs, really great coaches. It's going to be a battle, but we'll get them here at home in Bram. We're going to need all the fans. We expect to win. But yeah, it's going to be exciting for sure.
Yeah, and like you said, we got this home stretch coming up. Houston, Texas Tech, two great programs, and we talked about a lot of the things that we struggle with maybe in the two games we lost, but there definitely were some positives. David had a great rebounding night, double doubles. David's been playing great. We're slowly, I've slowly started to pick things up a little bit more offensively. We still have a bunch of stuff we can clean up, and I feel like we got to find ways to get you involved more. But no, I feel like we also played a little zone a little bit, and there was definitely some positives in that, glimpses of things where we might be able to distort teams and take teams out of running an offense. What were some of your positive takeaways from those games?
I definitely think that when teams see the zone, it kind of shocks them because you're not used to just seeing a team come out and go into a 1-3 run specifically. It was nice to see Ugo get down there, give us a look down there. He came in, and when you haven't played in the first half and you come in and you're cold. Credit to him. He did a phenomenal job of kind of getting us going back in that game. But yeah, that zone gives us a different look. It allows us to use our length, force teams to maybe some shots they're not used to. So it's definitely a unique factor that we could kind of start to use here.
When we have me and David in, we're usually trying to, depending on personnel, we might put two to the ball, we might switch. What's your mindset when it comes to do you like fighting over ball screens all the time, or do you like being able to switch? What defensively, what do you to do?
I think being able to switch gives us a unique look for sure, because we kind of have a dynamic team. So switching 1 through 4, 1 through 3 sometimes putting 2 on the ball. Teams never know what really to expect. But also in the Big 12, just how good some of these guards are. We're going to have to switch. We don't have time to always fight through, because these guards can get going in a hurry. So I think that being able to switch, gives us probably the safest way to go, the best look for us. And then sometimes having two guys on the ball, a guard and then a big on some of these guards is better for us.
Yeah, and then offensively on our end, we had a different lineup. It was me at the 3, David at the 4, Ugo at the 5. I feel like when you talked about the switches, I feel like that lineup was working a little bit. We had 2 guards in there and then 3 bigs. Maybe on a smaller team like Oklahoma State where they played 3 or 4 guards and then a big. Sometimes I feel like that was working a little bit. It was almost like have me in the short roll, and then David was cutting and Ugo was in the other short corner. So that might be a different look for us as well. But ultimately we have to put our trust in Coach and do what he says at the end of the day. And as long as we play hard and compete as hard as we can, and do the right things to get a win, that's what we got to be happy with. But I feel like we have an opportunity on Saturday to go out and get a win against Houston, who's a really good team. But for now we're just going to take it one game at a time, focus on our game plan, and try to get as many wins as we can. So
sure.
Yeah. So appreciate you for hopping on.
Yeah.
That's another episode of Every Pod A Wildcat. I appreciate you guys for tuning in.